Prince William battled coronavirus, Meghan Markle's trial postponed, and will the Queen step down in 2021?
I don't think she looks at this as a regular job that you retire from.
Right,
She
yeah.
looks at it as a calling
Mhm.
and something that she was born to do and that she needs to keep doing.
And we get our first look at HBO's The Prince, all about Prince George.
Hey guys, it's me again, Prince George, getting ready for a Halloween party downstairs. Rapid testing.
Plus, what would it really be like to be a housekeeper for William and Kate? Managing director and private staff consultant Paloma Irving helps us break it all down.
I think we all have this vision that they live very differently to the rest of us. I mean, obviously, certain things are different. Some things are just simply on a bigger scale. But ultimately, they do lead a very normal private life.
We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Well, hello to our fellow royal lovers and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina, that's Molly, the host of the Diva Behavior Podcast. Hi, Molly.
Hi, Christina. Happy election week.
Happy election week. It is definitely going to be a very, very interesting week and a lot happening over in London as well. I know you guys are under a brand new lockdown, which can't be very fun.
Yeah, it's March all over again. It's just really strange to look out the window and see nobody on the streets again, but hopefully it'll be over soon.
I hope so. But we have a lot to get to. Prince William secretly battled the coronavirus. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But of course, we have to check in with our royal viewers, our royal watchers to see what you guys have to say about last week's show. So let's kick it off with Libby Erickson. She says, I love hearing from Ingrid. She is so insightful on the inner workings and gossip of the royal family. She provides a very well-rounded perspective, and that's something that's not always easy to find in the reporting world. That's, of course, talking about Ingrid Seward. She was on last week's show talking all about her new book, Prince Phillip Revealed, and it was a great conversation. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's so knowledgeable and so interesting and really just willing to talk about any aspect of royal life, which is really fun.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to check out more of our interview, we have just her interview on our YouTube channel, so definitely check that out. The next one from Corazon de la Cruz says, as a former cabin attendant for Cathay Pacific Airways, I served Prince Philip as a passenger. He was an honorable and down-to-earth prince with a great sense of humor. I was so pleased to meet such a graceful, friendly prince. That's so fun.
Yeah, I really am not surprised to hear that because that sounds rude, but it's just funny to think of him being like a fun, easygoing guest on a flight. I don't know.
What a cool thing. I mean, I would love to know if more of our viewers have ever, had those encounters with the royalty and what it's been like. I mean, that's got to be so exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and the last one from Prada Kid. I'm so excited for the new season of The Crown. Love the Queen. I think that in regards to her not wearing a mask, I think she thought her people would want to see her face for her first engagement. I know we are super excited for The Crown as well. But still, the Queen probably should have followed some protocols, considering it's so bad over in London right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she probably didn't realize that a second lockdown was coming when that happened. But it's still, if you looked at the numbers, it was pretty... the proof is in the pudding. So hopefully she'll be a little more religious about the mask wearing.
Yeah, definitely. And considering 2 of the members of her family had coronavirus, which takes us right into our royal roundup, our royal news of the week. And we have to talk about Prince William. It was revealed that he battled coronavirus back in April, shortly after Prince Charles came public with his diagnosis as well. Yeah,
he really hit it well, I guess. I mean, it's an interesting choice that they decided not to tell the public about it. I don't know really why they told the public about Charles, but not William. Right. William did carry out 14 telephone and video engagements throughout April. So I don't know. Why do you think they kept it a secret?
I don't know. There was some reporting that they didn't want to, alarm everybody and make everybody really worried about everybody because, there is some conflicting reportings that he did have a bad case of it. He had a very mild case of it. So, you never really know who to believe until they kind of come out and talk about it. But I guess they just didn't want to sound the alarm. But it's interesting that you said he did have 14 speaking engagements and, some of them I believe were around Kate. So, and she didn't contract the virus. The kids didn't contract the virus. So who really knows, it doesn't seem like it was a severe case of the coronavirus.
Yeah. And there was also footage of him kind of playing down the virus and joking about it before anyone he knew had contracted it. So maybe that went into their decision to keep it secret.
That's
as well.
true too. Yeah, that is very true. But it's good to see, you know, that they both Charles and William fully recovered and are on the mend, and they have been doing public engagements. So it would be nice for him to kind of come out and talk about his experience, though.
Yeah, and it would definitely make younger people take the threat of COVID more seriously, I think, because you know, I think some people sort of think they're immune to it or that it's no big deal. And I think it would help people to sort of, you know, follow all the rules and everything, because some people are having a hard time with that.
I think so. No, I definitely think so too. So who knows, but maybe this week he will, now that it's out there, he will kind of talk about it a little bit more. But like we said, he made a full recovery, and in the months since he contracted the virus, and this week he and Kate made an appearance together to praise essential workers. Take a look.
During lockdown, we joined people up and down the country to applaud the NHS and our key workers each week. Their hard work still goes on, and we remain indebted to them for all that they do.
It's fitting that we are here today at Britain's oldest hospital to thank and celebrate our NHS staff and to honour them with a Pride of Britain award.
Yeah, the two of them out and about, wearing their masks, practicing social distancing, but also kind of giving back and praising the essential workers who have been so helpful and really the heroes during this entire thing.
Yeah, it really is so nice how the royal family has been keeping the spotlight on essential workers and carers throughout everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's really great. And, you know, it's nice. I love when they both talk together. I think it's so much fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, kind of going on the essential workers, kind of giving back, you know, we've been talking about Kate's Hold Still campaign. She has been working on this for a few months. And actually, one of the photographs is really making a really big impact, and it is being made into a giant mural, or was made into a giant mural in Manchester.
Yeah, it really looks amazing. And it's a photo of an essential worker. The photo was taken by Joanna Churchill, and it looks like they are putting a lot of these photos on display all around the UK. So it's a great way to sort of bring this project to the masses and not just have it all confined to one space.
Right. And the purpose of this campaign was to kind of shine a light on what people were going through on an everyday basis during this time. And, you know, it's gotten a lot of traction. A lot of people are talking about it. And now all the work is being shown for everybody to see, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's really nice and sort of brightens the outdoor area now that we can't go indoors in the UK really anymore. We need all the help we can get for things to look at outside. So
seriously. Well, now that, you know, you said London is back on lockdown, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip have returned to Windsor Castle together, and they haven't been really together in the past couple weeks, right?
Right. They have been sort of split up. They've been dividing their time. Prince Philip was mostly at Sandringham in Norfolk, and the Queen was there only on the weekends. So they now are going, like you said, back to Windsor, and they're about to celebrate their 73rd marriage anniversary. So
imagine being married to somebody for 73 years.
I know, I cannot imagine that
Good
at all.
for them. That's amazing. And it's nice though too, because last year they didn't get to spend their anniversary together. So even though under the circumstances it's probably not how they want to spend their anniversary on lockdown, it's still nice that they will be together.
Yeah, and they'll, I'm sure, be having a lot of fun with the corgis and having a nice afternoon whiskey or whatever drink it is that they usually have.
Seriously, pop open that bottle of champagne and enjoy. All right, well, now it is time to spill the royal tea, and we're getting some new and big information on Meghan Markle's battle against the British tabloids. Now, we were all expecting this to kind of kick off or, you know, really come to a head in January, but she requested that it get pushed, right?
Yes, by 9 months.
Yeah, interesting.
Which is a very interesting amount of time, wouldn't you say?
Just say, a lot of people now that she did, you know, say that she wanted to postpone it for 9 months, a lot of people are saying that maybe she is expecting baby number 2.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, we have gotten reporting that she has wanted to have another baby before her 40th birthday, which is next August. So that would kind of put us in time. And if, you know, if maybe she's almost 3 months along, so that would give her maybe a full year to kind of get back into the groove. And, you know, by October, she would be almost a year out. So I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. The only thing that makes me doubt the baby theory is that 9 months is so on the nose. Like,
yes.
wouldn't you think they would have requested 10 months or 8
Right.
months?
Unless she's about maybe almost 3 months along, and then then it would be almost like a full year. So that's the only thing that I have, that maybe she's like giving herself a little bit of a buffer, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I would expect that maybe soon, if they want to expand their family even more, that she would probably get pregnant soon.
Yeah. Do you think that this is going to add to all of the press surrounding the case, or do you think it's going to make it die down a little?
I don't know. It may make it die down just a little bit for the time being, but then I think it's just going to ramp back up. I don't think that the British tabloids are going to let anybody forget that this is happening.
Yeah.
And then, but who knows? I mean, she may have pushed it off because she sees that COVID is still so high and maybe she doesn't want to travel. So I don't know. There's so many different theories.
And Thomas Markle is scheduled to appear for this court trial. He's going to be going to court in person, apparently, and this will be the first time that he will meet Harry and his grandchild. So that's really interesting too. I mean, maybe they wanted to postpone it so that they could get a chance to mend fences with him beforehand, so that they're not all meeting for the first time under such strange circumstances. But yeah.
Only time will tell. It's definitely an interesting thing. But yes, it was granted. So the trial is now in October. So we'll keep everybody posted on what's going to be happening in that. But, it hasn't worked in her favor so far. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And it was also really interesting how her side and the Mail on Sunday's side have both put out statements saying they are confident they're going to win the case. Yeah. So it's just, this is never going to let up. It's just going to be like Drama Central for another year.
Yes, seriously. It's anybody's game. All right. Well, you may have noticed that Kate and William were laying low a bit in October, and now we know why. It seems that they reportedly went on a family vacation, and it seems like a nice little getaway.
Yeah, they went to the Isles of Scilly, which is an archipelago off the coast of Cornwall. People call it the Cornish Caribbean. I was actually in Cornwall over the summer, and it is such a gorgeous place. It's got really beautiful, crystal clear water, great surfing. It's just freezing cold. And I was there in August, so I can't imagine what it was like now.
Right. Yeah. Well, hopefully they had a really nice time and were able to kind of get some quality family time, which I'm sure they've had a lot of over the past 9 months.
Yeah,
all right, well, now it is time to break down the royal rules. And last week we told you that William and Kate were on the hunt for a brand new housekeeper. So it got us thinking, what would it be like to take on that job? Well, to help us break that all down is managing director and private staff consultant, Paloma Irving. Well, as we know, William and Kate are on the hunt for a new housekeeper. So we would love if you can give us some insight on what they would be looking for and what kind of duties they would have to do. So what are the usual responsibilities for someone who works as a housekeeper for William and Kate?
Well, it really depends, obviously, if they're working in their private home, say in Norfolk, or if they're working at Kensington Palace. I mean, the duties will be quite different. In their sort of private home, where they have spent many years in Norfolk, it'd be much more sort of sole charge housekeeper role rather than working in a big team. Kensington Palace, it's a much bigger setup, because they're dealing with many more formal events and so on. So in Norfolk, their home was very much a private family home. The housekeeper would be dealing with, general housekeeping duties, dealing with our appointment calendar, making sure that guests are well received, everything from the grocery shopping, basic family cooking. Naturally, they'd have to be also very child friendly and pet friendly because, the children and the pets too. So yeah, there'd be the sort of linchpin as well between the security team and the private office at Kensington Palace.
I mean, what kind of person is suited in working in a service for a high-end clientele, and what kind of experience do they need?
It's actually quite, it varies. I mean, you have some very big households here in London who might have sort of staff about 20 plus. The kind of people that are very well suited to those households, people who've worked in 5-star hotels like the Ritz, the Mandarin Oriental, etc., because these households are run a little bit like a boutique hotel. So they fit in extremely well into those sorts of structures. If it's more of a sort of home where there's maybe a PA, a couple of housekeepers and a chef, generally speaking, the families will be looking for somebody who's worked in the private sector already before, and might have. It's always an advantage to have a hotel background anyway, because you tend to get very good training in hotels like the Savoy and the Ritz. They might go through different departments as well, such as the housekeeping department, the valeting department, etc. So they get expert training in laundry and so on as well. So they would be looking for a mix, perhaps, of people with previous experience working in VIP households as well as hotel.
Wow. What are some of the biggest misconceptions about working for the royal family?
Perhaps the biggest misconception would be salaries. It's, obviously there's a lot of kudos working for the royal family. So you get a lot of people who go into the royal household with actually very little private sector experience, and in some cases none, because it's a really good starting point. And you get a lot of training as well at the palace. They've got a lot of training courses. They really do train their staff to the absolute highest level. And basically, I would say that the salaries is probably the biggest misconception, because I think you'd think that obviously working for one of the most powerful families in the world, that the salaries are going to be at a certain sort of point.
Right.
But they're not. They're not.
Were you surprised that they made the job announcement public and didn't go through like a private company like that you have?
I'd imagine that was a bit of a leak.
Yeah.
Don't think that was, obviously them announcing this to the world. I think that would have probably been an inside leak of some sort. And they're normally extremely private people.
And what would surprise people most about working with the royal family as a member of staff?
I think that they're basically just regular people at the end of the day, with regular needs. I think we all have this vision that they live very differently to the rest of us. I mean, obviously, certain things are different. Some things are just simply on a bigger scale. On a bigger scale, but ultimately they do lead a very normal private life.
Paloma, thank you so much. This was so interesting and so insightful. We really appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you very much indeed to you.
All right, well, let's move on to our royal history moment of the week. And a royal commenter has actually suggested, and we've heard this rumblings a couple times before, that Queen Elizabeth could hand over the monarchy to Prince Charles when she turns 95. Do you really think that this is going to happen?
No way.
No way.
Yeah, I think that the Queen, one of the biggest moments in her life was her speech on her 21st birthday in 1947, when she addressed the nation and the Commonwealth. And she said, "I declare before you all my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service." So I don't think she's going to go back on that. It's been
either.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that she is preparing them. I think she's preparing Charles and William, but I don't think that she is going to be like, you know what, I'm done. I've served for quite a long time. I'm done, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think she looks at this as a regular job that you retire from.
Right.
She looks at it as a calling and something that she was born to do and that she needs to keep doing. So, yeah.
And it's not like she's slowing down either. She's still for 94, she's in fabulous shape, and she's still going to a lot of these engagements. We saw her during these past few months on Zoom calls, still being present and still being out there despite everything else going on. So she's not slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, no way. All right. But before we wrap up, let's check in on our pint-sized pals, our royal kiddos, and I am so excited for this. We have a brand new show coming out on HBO Max called The Prince, and it's all about Prince George. Take a look.
Ugh, so now we're going as Dorothy and two random pigs? That's not anything. Oh, come on. It's a group costume, guys. It doesn't work unless we all do it. Great. So what do I say when people ask what I'm supposed to be?
Maybe say you're Ariana Grande's pet pig.
I'm not going as Piggy Smalls. Unbelievable. 2020.
Now this looks hysterical. I'm so ready for this. So this is from Gary Janetti, who created Family Guy as well. So if you follow his Instagram, it's pretty much all about Prince George all the time. So he just kind of took that idea and made it into a comic show.
Yeah, and I think it's really funny how Prince George has sort of an American accent, his version.
He does. He definitely does. So Gary voices Prince George, but they have some pretty big stars also joining this, right?
Yes, Orlando Bloom is going to be playing Prince Harry. Alan Cumming is playing George's butler. And Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones is playing Princess Charlotte.
I love that. I think it's going to be really, really funny. Hopefully, if the royal family takes a look at it, which I don't think they will, but hopefully they get a good laugh.
Yeah, that would be, yeah. I don't know if they're going to like it too much.
I don't think so either, but yes, as you can see from the preview, Prince George is a foul-mouthed little child, but it's going to be really, really fun. I think it's going to be great. And hopefully during this time, everybody can get a good laugh.
Yeah, it's all in good fun for sure.
So keep a lookout. It is coming to HBO Max pretty soon. So, well, that is it for this week's episode of Royally Us. Molly, thank you so much.
Thank you, Christina.
All right, make sure to check back every Wednesday at 10:30 for all your royal needs, and keep commenting and keep subscribing, and we will